Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Let me start off with a reminder for those of you who are on my free weather app, especially those of you who have an iPhone. The update is finally here, so be sure to get the updated version of the app. And if you're on an Android device, that update's been out for about 6 weeks now, so if you haven't, update your weather app. One of the big changes in it is the fact that you'll be able to, when you go to the local forecast page or the current conditions, it will default to your own location. You won't have to put in your location every time. I've also added a tab for Long Island. So for those of you on Long Island, there will be occasionally some Long Island specific weather posts that will go in there. So look for those two changes. So make sure, again, download the updated version of the app. And if you haven't downloaded the app, here is your opportunity because it's free on Google Play or on the App Store. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi, or on Google Play, you can just use plain old Joe Cioffi. All right, we're on our way to a new season. Autumn has arrived, and remember, folks, seasons don't flip on switches. So if you're thinking that this is some sort of magical Disney movie where we're suddenly going to have this marvelous cool weather and the leaves are just going to come fluttering down from their trees onto the ground, it just doesn't work that way. Never has, never will. I'm never quite sure how all these fantasy images of how weather works. Seasons bleed into each other all the time. You have winters bleeding into spring, you have spring bleeding into summer, summer bleeding into autumn, and autumn bleeding into winter. It just happens that way. And we are in a very, very dry stretch. Last week was, I think, nothing short of spectacular across the Northeast. And we are seeing that continue to start the day. But for the first time in a while, we actually have some showers as a cold front is approaching. In the meantime, though, it is still pretty dry up and down the eastern seaboard. So I think at least into the early part of the afternoon, we should be okay. And then after that, a few scattered showers are going to develop. By the way, if you look down in the lower right, this is Tropical Storm Jerry. And if you look very closely, you can see that the center of the circulation has become exposed and exposed in a big way. There's a convection on the east side, but there's very little going on to the northwest, west, and southwest of the center. So we continue to see the impact of these strong southwesterly winds aloft. And you can also pick it out on the satellite. You can see the lower clouds are moving from the northeast and the higher clouds are moving from the southwest. So the wind shear here is a big issue. Here's the wider view, and you've got the cold front. You've got a driver here across the Great Lakes. That is the next upper trough that is swinging eastward and is going to move off the east coast and take Jerry out to sea. It's right in there, and that is going to eventually just drive Jerry away. It's also going to bring the next shot of drier air that is going to come in for Tuesday and Wednesday. So we've got a pretty busy pattern, upper air pattern, but in terms of what we're going to be seeing here on ground level, it's not going to really amount to too much. We're in a dry pattern. We're going to stay in a dry pattern, and that is about it. So high temperatures today are going to be very warm. So we're getting a little bit of summer bleed over here from the weekend. Upper 80s to around 90 degrees in some spots down in Maryland and southern Pennsylvania. Southern New Jersey could see a few 90-degree readings. Middle to upper 80s everywhere else. Then the front passes. We get a couple of scattered showers, maybe even the odd thunderstorm this evening. And by the way, I'm going to suggest that for many of you, you may not see much of anything. And going forward, as we move through this week, it's going to turn a little cooler for Tuesday and Wednesday. Trying to see if this thing is working here, and it's having a little bit of a tough time. But Tuesday and Wednesday highs will be in the mid to upper 70s. They should be dry with at least some sunshine both days. Thursday, we're looking at temperatures back up to the upper 70s and low to mid 80s from northeastern Virginia to southern New England as another front approaches and moves on through with a few scattered showers, and then it looks like it cools off after that. Now, we do have Tropical Storm Karen. And this is an interesting forecast from the Hurricane Center with Karen, which is barely a tropical storm, by the way. hanging on, also having similar issues that from Jerry that Jerry is having. And here's the wider view. What we're seeing here on the loop is if you look closely, you can actually see the winds here from Jerry in the upper atmosphere blowing. This is the outflow in the higher levels. Well, you're seeing these strong upper air winds. Jerry's getting this share of winds from the west. Then those winds turn northerly on the east side and then go northeast over Karen. And Karen is being having to deal with this. Here is the convection that keeps coming and going, but the actual center of circulation with Karen is on the northeast side of this. So it remains a weak system. I'm not really expecting too much to happen here other than it will be moving toward the north. And we do have a reconnaissance aircraft that is investigating here at the moment, seeing some winds on the order of about 34 to 40 knots in those green wind barbs. But that really is about it. So with respect to Karen, tropical storm warnings are up for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. This, I think, is going to be more of a rain event than anything else. Longer term, once it gets on the other side and on the Atlantic side, conditions are going to start to become more favorable for strengthening. And with a big upper high that's forecast to build off the southeast coast late this week and this weekend, a turn to the west seems like a fairly good bet at this point. A number of the longer range weather models are showing this. And with respect to Jerry, a turn to the north and northeast will be occurring as it moves then east-northeast out in the open waters of the Atlantic. Tropical storm watches are up. And actually, we've just gone to a tropical storm warning for Bermuda. And being that much of what's going on with Jerry is on the east side of the storm, we're going to see rain and some wind over Bermuda. But thankfully, both these systems are not hurricanes or major hurricanes. They're just going to do what they're going to do, and that's it. So Weather in 5 went a little bit long. Thanks for being here today. We're on regular Monday schedule, so look for website posts for more information on all these different weather issues we're dealing with. Remember, again, a reminder, if you're on the free weather app, which you can download on Google Play by searching Joe Cioffi or going on the App Store for your iPhone, and meteorologist Joe Cioffi would be the search you'd use there. Or you can just go to any one of the number of links I have up all over the place. Be sure you have downloaded the latest version of the app. The new changes include the fact that when you go to your local forecast and your current conditions, it will default to your location. You won't have to put in a location every time. And for those of you who are on Long Island, there's a separate Long Island tab where I will put Long Island posts in from time to time, and you'll get notifications regarding this on the app itself. So just make sure your notifications are turned on, especially during storm situations. So this way I can keep you updated on all the happenings. So that's it for today. Have a great first day of fall, and we'll see you later.